Hey guys, today I'm filming my Throwback Thursday of my November favorites from 2016. If you guys have never seen one of these videos from me before, I have my playlist linked down below. Basically, I'm going to be re-reviewing all the products I featured in a favorites video 2 years back to let you know my current thoughts on those products, whether they are still favorites or if I have replaced them with something I prefer. My inspiration for this series is Kristen Game. I will have her channel and her playlist linked down below. I will also link down below the original favorites video, and I will list and link all the items that I mentioned. So my first favorite is both a product and a technique. So before this month, I had been setting my eyeshadow primer with a powder shadow, but I found some specific eyeshadows and specific brushes I really liked for this purpose. So for the brushes, I have two $1 brushes from Wet n Wild. My friend Jean sent these to me. So this is the large eyeshadow brush, and I was using this to set the primer under my brow. And then we have this brush, which is either crease or blending. I can never remember which one, and I am using this to apply the powder shadow to set the primer in my crease. And I do not set the primer on my lid. I like to leave that tacky because usually I will go over top of my eye primer with a cream shadow to help my lid shade really stick. And the purpose for me for setting my eye primer, I like to help brighten under my brow, but I like to set the crease to make sure that I am able to blend my eyeshadows better and they won't look so choppy. So that's the reason that I do it, and that's also the reason I don't set my lid with the shadow, is because I don't want to put primer on, put a powder shadow on, and then put a cream shadow on top of that, and then a powder shadow on top of that. That's just way too much. Sounds like a big, heavy, creasy mess, so I don't need all that. So I absolutely love these brushes. I still use them to this day for those purposes. And then the specific eyeshadows I was using to set my brow bone, I was using a matte white. It was from the Balm Meet Matte Nude palette. The shade is called Matte Malloy. I did just recently use that up, which is such a shame. I love that eyeshadow. The palette is fantastic. I don't love all the shades in it, but there are a few shades that are amazing for me, and the formula is incredible. It is so pigmented, so creamy. It is the best white shadow I've ever used. Right now I'm using the white shade in the Too Faced Peanut Butter and Jelly palette, which is just not as pigmented, which is a bummer, but I love that for helping to brighten under the brow. And I'm not going to repurchase the palette just for that shade, but I am on the hunt for another matte white eyeshadow. I do have one in mind that I think would be amazing that I'll probably buy once I use up the Too Faced one, because it is working for now. I just don't like it as much. And then to set the primer in my crease, I was using a matte cream because it is a shade similar to my skin tone, and I was using Wet n Wild Brulee. I have since used that up, and I haven't repurchased it for a while, even though it is still my holy grail. That is my #1 must-have. I would never buy any other single. I would rather get that one because it works well. It's only $1, but I'm trying to use up all of the different matte creams in my palette collection. So that's what I'm working on now, but both of those products and brushes are holy grails to me. And then I had quite a few different eyeshadow looks that I was loving this month, so I had planned to do a palette of the month. I was using the Urban Decay Smoked palette, and I really did enjoy the looks that I was creating with it, so I decided to just play around with some singles, and I came up with some really great combinations that I was loving. And the first one was using ColourPop DGAF on my lid. This is a metallic finish. This is a beautiful dirty peach shade, and it also has a flash of goldy green to it. It's a really unique shade. Absolutely love it. For me, this is a really great wearable grungy eyeshadow. For me, a lot of other grungy shades are really dark, but this is on the lighter side, but it still gives that grungy effect for me personally. And the eyeshadows I was using along with that were from Anastasia. I was using Birkin as my transition color and Blazing as my outer corner color. So I wore this look recently, and I totally forgot that I was using Blazing. I thought I was using Bengal, and I wasn't loving the look as much, and I wasn't sure why, and that's probably why. I think the colors I was using were all too similar tonally, so this one being darker I think will really bring out some of the cool effects of the shadow. So I need to try this look again. So I cannot say that the look itself is a favorite, but all three of these shadows individually are amazing. I love the Anastasia matte eyeshadow formula. Yes, it is powdery, but it is very pigmented and it blends out very nicely for me. So all three of those are absolute must-haves. Birkin I have hit pan on, as you guys can see. This is such a great light peachy tan color for me to use as a transition shade, but it doesn't pull too orange, but it's still warm, so I absolutely love that. My second eye look was focused around the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Boy Band. It's a pearlized finish. This is what I would call a pumpkin spice color. This also has a nice amount of depth to it, but then you have that really gorgeous red orange kind of shift. And that shade has been discontinued, re-released, discontinued again, so I'm not sure what the current state of it is, but it is definitely one of my favorites. And then the eyeshadows I was using along with that, again, I used Birkin as my transition color, Blazing as an outer corner color. You guys already know I love that. And then I used Makeup Geek Country Girl in my crease, and that is a beautiful red pinky brown color, but it does have silver glitter in it, which I do not like. The silver glitter is very chunky and it makes the eyeshadow hard and very difficult to pick up on a brush. I did recently declutter that, even though I love the shade, because of the glitter, it was very difficult to work with. So that one is not a favorite, but I was also using Makeup Geek Frappe, which I did just recently hit pan on. This is an amazing shade as well. This does have a really beautiful peachy undertone, but it has a little bit of that pink in it as well. As you can see, compared to Birkin, it is definitely deeper, where I would use Birkin as a transition color. I can use Frappe as a transition color, but it works better for me as a crease shade, so that one is definitely a holy grail for me as well. So for my third look, I was using the MAC Extra Dimension eyeshadow in Sweet Heat on my lid. These shades are incredibly expensive. I do think that they have a really nice formula. They're very pigmented, they have a nice glittery finish, but they are very overpriced. I got mine at a CCO. This is a really beautiful rose gold color with a little bit of copper thrown in, so that was what I was wearing on my lid. Then for my transition color, again, I was using Anastasia Blazing, which you guys know is a favorite. And then for my crease outer corner, I was using Raw Sienna and Burnt Orange from the Modern Renaissance palette. I've hit pan on both of these. Absolutely love them, but I have not worn this entire look again, but I do love all of these products on their own. The MAC eyeshadow isn't a holy grail or anything, but I definitely would still consider it a favorite. And then my final look, I do have a tutorial for, so I'll have it linked up in the cards. And this is also a really nice grungy look. So what I was wearing on my lid is the Prestige Total Intensity eyeshadow in Hocus Pocus. This shade is very similar to MAC Blue Brown Pigment and all of those dupes. So this is a burgundy base, but it has this intense blue green shift to it. It is super beautiful, and this is a very pigmented eyeshadow, so definitely recommend this one. And I was lucky enough to get this from Big Lots for only $1, so that was a steal. I really enjoyed that. And then the eyeshadows I chose to complement it, which I think worked really well, are from MAC, and that would be Soft Brown and Brown Script. As you can see, all 5 of these shades here are similar, but you can tell the differences in the depth and the undertone. So as this one is a little bit more orange, this is more muted, and this is a little bit more orange than the Birkin shade. So transition color, MAC Soft Brown, crease color, MAC Brown Script, and I think those really nicely complemented the Prestige eyeshadow, so definitely recommend this. I absolutely love that makeup look. It is really intense for me, but I thought it was very beautiful. I also like the blush and lip color I paired with it, so again, check out that tutorial for more of that information. But I definitely still recommend all of those eyeshadows, and I was really happy with the looks that I created. The next item I forgot to bring over here, it was the Kat Von D tattoo liner in the shade Trooper, which is just their matte black, and the tattoo liner is hair brush tip liquid liner. I think that is absolutely amazing. It performs very well. It is nice and pigmented black. I think that the applicator is a really great size. It is very easy to line my eyes and to wing out on my liner. I do have a couple minis that I've gotten at Sephora plays that I will be working through, but this is not something I would repurchase, and it's not just because of the Kat Von D controversy. It is because the Physicians Formula Eye Booster performs just as well for me, but it is cheaper, and I will only buy the Physicians Formula eyeliner when I can get the brand 40% off, and then it's an even better deal. So that's what I would recommend. That liner works just as well as all of the other high-end ones that people rave about. It is amazing, but the Kat Von D is good as well. So then I have 3 blushes that I was using for the entire fall season that I wanted to give a shout out to, and the first one was MAC Warm Soul. This is an amazing nude peach blush. It has a gorgeous shimmer to it. It's a really nice warm tone color. I love wearing this blush when I have a more intense eye look because it really complements it. It gives some nice color to my cheek, but it isn't too much of a statement. This one is still a holy grail of mine. Then I had 2 blushes that I was pulling for when I had a more subtle eye look, and the first one would be the Clinique Cheek Pop blush in Ginger Pop. This is such a beautiful shade. I really do enjoy this formula. It is a Bake Your Life formula, so it is more dense, and you do need more of a dense blush brush to pick it up, but this is not a shimmery blush, but it isn't a flat matte. It looks really nice and healthy on the cheek, so that one is definitely still a favorite. And then I have the Balm Instain Blush in the shade Swiss Dot, which is a really bright matte peachy orange color, and this is very unique to my collection. I have a lot of other blushes that are more peachy, but this one is more of that muted orange with a little bit of a burnt twist to it, so it isn't too scary. I really like this one as well. I think the Balm blushes are amazing. I love the Instain line because they are very long lasting, and this is a matte shade, so I definitely would still say that all of them are favorite. I would say that the Clinique and MAC are holy grail, but the Balm one is just a favorite. Then I had 5 lip products that I was loving. Several of these I was wearing with these different eyeshadow looks. I believe that in the description box I will have links for all of the videos where I was wearing these makeup looks so you can see how they looked on me. So the first one was the ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip in the shade Frickin' Frack, which is a gorgeous terracotta with a little bit of rose in it. It is a stunning color. I love the ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip formula. It is a full coverage lip color. It is very comfortable. It is long lasting and transfer resistant, but it is not transfer proof, so it isn't to wear as long, but it's so much more comfortable. And unfortunately I do not have this one anymore because the ColourPop Ultra Satin lips go bad on me within 6 to 9 months, which is absolutely insane. So for that reason I'm not going to buy anymore. Speaking of lip products that expire, this is the Smashbox Always On Liquid Lipstick in the shade Driver's Seat. So I had mine for 2 years. It completely dried up and I had to throw it out, but my sister got one in her Sephora play just a few months back, so she gave it to me because she doesn't really wear lip products. So this is a beautiful burnt orange color. This is really as intensely orange as I go, and this is a really beautiful shade. I love this formula as well. It is a very moussey lip formula, and it does have this little teardrop shape applicator which makes it super easy to apply. This does dry down completely, but it isn't super duper uncomfortable. And as much as I love this color and I love this formula, again, because this one dried up so quickly on me, it is not something I would repurchase. And I can say that because the next one I have is the Dose of Colors Liquid Lipstick in Truffle, which is one of the oldest liquid lipsticks in my collection, and I'm thinking that I want to repurchase this one and Stone the next time Ulta features these in one of the 21 Days of Beauty. But this one is still kicking, girl, and this is also a moussey formula. It has a really nice fuzzy applicator that makes it easy to apply, and this does dry down completely. This is a really nice light peachy tan nude, and it isn't too brown or tan on my skin tone. It has enough of that peachy tone to it. I love this color, and it is a really nice formula, so this is definitely something that I would recommend. So I have one lipstick. This is the ColourPop Lippie Stick in the shade Grunge. This is a warm brown color on my skin tone. For some people this shows up a little bit more terracotta on them, but for me this is a warm brown. This is a matte finish, which I like, but my favorite finish would be Matte X, and this is a very different color for me, but I do think it is really pretty, and of course it depends on the makeup look. But this is something that I haven't worn in a while, so I don't think I can consider this one a favorite anymore. Even though it is a cool color and I like the way it looks, it isn't a shade that I gravitate towards. I really do use a lot of nudes in the fall time because I like a more intense eye, so still a good product. I still enjoy it, but I can't quite call it a favorite anymore. And my last lip product is the Anastasia lip gloss in the shade Kristen. This is a really nice pinky tone tan nude, and I love the applicator because it is that flat paddle, so it does pick up some nice product and it's easy to shellac onto the lips. If you haven't tried the Anastasia gloss formula before, it is very thick and it is very pigmented. While I like this, I'm not going to buy any more of these because for me it's actually too pigmented, and because it is so thick, I am worried about it bleeding outside my lip line and making a mess, and I would rather use a lip gloss that has more of a medium opacity. So this is a little too full for me, but I do think the formula is good, not amazing, but I do really enjoy this color. So again, even though I like it, I don't know if I can consider it a favorite. And then I had two nail polishes. The first is what I'm wearing on my nails today. This is 90 Lacquer Turkey Coma. This is a indie brand that was created by JustFace90, who is an amazing nail polish YouTuber and Instagrammer. I would definitely recommend you guys check her out. She makes all of her own polishes by hand in her home, which is absolutely amazing, and I love every single one I have. She comes up with such cool colors. So this is a really pretty warm coppery brown color that does have some holographic pieces in it. I absolutely love this. It is always my go-to for Thanksgiving. Her formula is amazing and I absolutely love this shade, so this is definitely still a favorite. The other one is from OPI. This is my Dog Sled, is a hybrid. This color is amazing. It is bright and muted at the same time. It's a really beautiful aqua dusty mint mixed together. I absolutely love this shade. It is a brighter version of my favorite OPI Mermaid Tears, but that one is getting very old, and I believe this shade was added to the permanent collection, which is amazing. I love OPI cream polishes as well as their metallic polishes, so I love OPI in general, but this color is definitely still a favorite. So guys, that was my Throwback Thursday of my November favorites from 2016. So basically for all of them, I do still really love them, which is great because a lot of times I've completely moved on from things. Some of these went from being favorites to just products that I like, but got some really good stuff here. So I would love to know your thoughts if you've tried out any of these products in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.